Hey guys, welcome to Marketing With Vino. This is a special episode. We don't really know what number it is, but this is just
I think it's 13. I think it's 13. It's going to be 13.
Exclusive
it is
episode.
13. Thank you.
Exclusive episode with a special guest, Mario. And the reason why he's here today is it's his birthday yesterday.
It was my birthday yesterday, yeah.
Birthday yesterday. So
even more than that, this person is a phenomenal human being that we just thought you'd love to meet because, my God, he is just so driven, ambitious, heart-centered. He's just a beautiful human and he's got an awesome message to share with you.
Totally.
And that's right, totally. It's so true.
Well, to add to that, the reason why this is a special episode is we are actually together.
That's right.
Since we conceived this concept, it is we are together and we are recording the very first together episode.
That's right. This is in person Marketing with Vino. So normally Quinton and I, just Skype each other. I'm in Melbourne, he's in Sydney, and just consequently Melbourne, two Melbourne people. Nothing against that. Sydney rocks, by the way. We're currently in Sydney, and we're hanging out at Novotel Hotel in Manly. Manly's a beautiful place, and we've got some gold to share with you. First up, just wanted to say happy birthday, awesome man. Thank you for joining us.
Cheers to
Oh, yes.
Cheers to that.
To the bread.
That's right. We're all drinking a lovely Pinot. And we probably have already had a couple of glasses celebrating, so this episode could be fun. Enjoy. What we wanted to talk to you about today is actually marketing, but more than that, it's actually like getting that marketing is something that you want to fall in love with in business, regardless of what you do. You might be a naturopath, a personal trainer, a hairdresser, a beautician, you filling a slot. The truth of the matter is, in business, you're actually a marketer. And when you fall in love with marketing, everything changes. And so this is why we've also got Mario here, because the same way a mother falls in love with her baby when he or she is born, we want you to fall in love with marketing. We want you to look at marketing like a little baby, where it's not that you're jumping from one marketing thing to the other, searching for the magic pill. It's that you actually take a form of marketing and you stick with it for a very long time until you get to a point of absolute mastery. So it's like looking at a beautiful little baby Mario and what it took him to get to this awesome epic stage where now you can talk.
27 years.
That's right, you can talk, he's independent, but it wasn't always like this for his mother. If you were to ask her, at the very beginning, quite frankly, if she approached Mario, like most business owners approach marketing, she would have dumped his little ass in the street within a few weeks because he cried, he pooped, and he just kept doing it. So,
for at least 15 years.
At least, quite frankly. So our message today is we want you to sort of really embrace the fact that you're a marketer. And for some of you, you're new to marketing, meaning that that you've only really embraced marketing within your business because you saw the gap that you needed to grow. For some of you, you've been at it for a while. And what I've found is you can either fall into one camp or the other. One camp is the scattered approach to marketing, meaning everything's going great, oh shit, I've had 1-2 bad months in business, I need to market. And from that comes this need to find the magic pill, a bit of a scattered approach desperation. You're just like searching and grabbing for anything you can to get clients in the door. Unfortunately, that type of love for marketing is no different than having one kid going, well, that kid didn't work, well, let's have another kid, and that kid didn't work. And, and like with every single kid, you've had to be pregnant, go through labour, all of that kind of stuff. So our message,
like they never learn from the beginning.
They never learn. So where we're really wanting to pull you into is a place where you actually fall in love with marketing, where what you do is you take a marketing project and you look at it like a little baby Mario. Do you cute little Mario thing? There he is. And too funny. And you stick with it until little baby Mario matures, meaning that you actually, if you're going to take on joint ventures, nail that system. Get it working so beautifully for yourself, where you're a master of it. Then your marketing strategy is matured. It's now independent. It can help around the house. It doesn't poop. It doesn't cry.
Well, it basically gives you an ROI.
That's right.
That's what it comes down to. Is your marketing is no longer just just the fact of you feel that you keep on giving, your marketing has reached a point where it's now giving you an ROI, and you can now start to scale up. So that's what happens when you start to be consistent with your marketing, and people will start to notice you and know that you're in there for the long run. They will start to invest into you for as much as you've given them.
Yeah. And so just before we started recording this, we're talking about the importance of building relationships in marketing. To me, the world, the landscape of business over the X amount of years, over 20 years, has changed quite dramatically. Meaning that 20 years ago, advertising worked really well. These days, people need to see you so many more times before they feel trust, before they feel connection. So it's no longer about chucking lots of money into ads for cold traffic, meaning I'm just going to do this big beautiful poster and stick it on a freeway and you're going to buy my thing. It's actually about you wanting to build a relationship and understanding that it's a long-term strategy, that regardless of which one you take, they all work the same way. It's long-term, give before you receive, and come at it from a place of, I love my market, I love what I do, I know that what I've got is valuable, and I'm in it for the long run, meaning that I didn't just pop out a baby and I'm going to dump it in a dumpster a few weeks later because it's difficult. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to understand that this little baby is actually a human being that I've got to think about and always consider the future of what I'm doing, meaning that no matter what marketing strategy you take, it's actually looking at what's the foundation, what do I need to do first, how long do I need to stick here, stick in this phase for until I get my return on investment. So for example, we're talking about education marketing, which is what this podcast is. Relationship building, education / content marketing, or what Quinton and I call edutainment marketing, because we tend to have a few drinks and make you guys laugh.
Ching ching.
Yeah, ching ching. Let's all have it. Yep, there we go. Just so they know that we're actually drinking when we talk to them. So this is where, when it comes to content marketing, if you're brand new to content marketing and you've never done it before, the truth of the matter is it's highly likely that your first video blog or podcast or you name it is mainly going to be consumed by your friends, and your
mum's going to tell you you've done an amazing job.
Your mum's going to be there liking it, commenting on it, and often maybe even making you smile inappropriately, like your mum shouldn't have said that. At the beginning, it's just that, because what's happening in the background is people are watching you, but they don't feel comfortable yet, which means that they're maybe not engaging. They may like it, but they're still not quite, sold on.
To add to that as well is when you are starting out and you're starting to share your content, to start sharing it with your local tribe, and if you are on Facebook, to just share it on your personal profile, which means your friends will see it. With that, you'll get
your mum will see it.
Exactly, your mum will see it, but you'll also start to show your friends actually what you're up to, and they're great advocates of you. I mean, if you've got a great friendship, then obviously they're going to spread a message for you. But it also is an opportunity for you to be vulnerable, to basically make mistakes, because you're now starting out, and share it with your small tribe. And once you start getting the feedback and you're taking that on and you're improving, then you can start sharing it in the bigger picture, where you start running ads to it, where you started exploring it to a core audience that haven't known you for 10 years. They've known you since they've seen your ad pop up. And from there, basically, you nurture a relationship. So Mario is an amazing guy working with fitness professionals. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and how do you approach the whole edutainment marketing strategy?
So, a bit about myself. That's quite a bit. It's a tough question.
We already know what he was like as a baby.
Up to 50
We
years.
already know what
We
I was
that.
like as a baby. But as Quinton said, I founded Fuel Your Facility in November last year. And the biggest thing that I wanted to shift was the understanding that fitness professionals need to educate their audience in order for them to actually be able to build trust. I was not a fan of the gimmicky, let's create incredible funnels that actually manipulate and do this and all that kind of stuff. It's about building authentic relationships. And the reason why is because what I believe marketers end up doing is focusing on bringing more people in and then selling, where I really wanted to help them bring more people in for them and And on the back end of that, they really just finished professionals will focus then on selling and actually bringing in people into their tribe and focusing on retention.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing that I've realized that is that I'm working with incredibly authentic human beings that have so much more to give, and they're not really that into the bum size and the abs they're showing, and they're actually quite against that. And for me, I was in this situation where I was going, okay, I know how to market the other way around. How do I make sure that I have this authenticity and this congruency that I can help them with so that they can bring in their tribe? And so for me, I started realizing that it's about education, it's about creating relationships and being strategic about it. We're not just talking about Facebook, we're talking about building relationships with joint venture partners, building relationships with your clients and treating them as if they are also potential people that will bring incredible others into your business. So marketing for me is something that's completely holistic. It's not just Facebook, it's not just Google ads, it's building authentic relationships with human beings, whether it be JVs or whether it be referrals, purely because that's really what we as human beings want to do. We want to feel connected, we want to feel like we trust other people, and we want to be able to refer because we take ownership of that referral. And if you do this nourishment correctly, your ad spend is going to be lower, your retention rate is going to be higher, and more importantly, the people that you bring into your business are the people that you absolutely love.
Yeah.
And that's what marketing is.
I think that's a big thing. It is to actually fall in love, as Mario stated before we started recording. It's to fall in love with your avatar.
And what we mean by avatar, if you haven't listened to previous podcasts,
It's not the blue person.
It's not the blue person.
Could be the blue person. That's
Could be.
Could be. It could be.
Highly unlikely though. Yeah. It's actually your ideal client. So the avatar in marketing terms is, it's literally a hologram of your ideal client. And you give that person a name. So it could be Sally, and she's 35, and she's a single mother of two. I don't know why it's worked to that, but so be it. Sally is a single mother of two. She had Mario years ago. She's grown up. She's worked out well for it.
20 hours of labour.
Anyway, and she has a problem. Like, for argument's sake, Sally could have been in her absolute peak, fitness-wise, health-wise, but then when she had kids and she was a single mum, she lost a part of herself. And she wants to reclaim her health. She wants to reclaim her power. Her kids have now gone to school, she's got more time, and she wants it back. But, she's got like this massive debt of health to pay back, meaning that she's kind of done all the wrong things for so long that she needs someone to help her come back to who she used to be. So that could be the avatar, yeah? And then she's going to have values and beliefs and all that kind of stuff. And all your marketing wants to be, you want it to be focusing on her. So everything you ever do in marketing is, would Sally like this? Would Sally actually want to know about this?
It's like you're speaking to the person.
Yeah, it's like you're speaking directly to Sally every single time you market. That's what an avatar is. It's making sure that your marketing is not trying to hit every single person out there. It's actually taking one piece of the market that you rock at, and you can loves you too, and will become a raving fan client and bring you more Sallys, and that's what that is.
And I think the most important thing that we need to actually discuss here is the fact that because it's so noisy now, and there's a lot of people that are marketing out there, falling in love with your avatar and really defining your avatar more than ever before it's so much more important than ever before, purely because we don't want to yell louder, we want to be able to just whisper to the right person in the right ear.
I think that's key, yeah.
And it's a huge thing because just trying to go and bring in as many people in as possible will then dilute your message.
Yeah.
And if you've got the right person with the right targeting and the right strategies, whether it be online or offline, you'll absolutely nail it.
Yeah. There's one key strategy that I like to think about and ask clients when working with them, defining their avatar. It's actually broken down into 3 areas. The first part is we just look at characteristics. We just look at what characteristics do you want your ideal client to have, and don't think about profession. Purely just think about what is their humor like what is their lifestyle like. We want to be associated with people who have the same values, the same thinking, the same ambition, so that we can relate with them. Then we're going to start thinking about what target market are they associated with. Where can we find those people that love a certain sense of humor, that have a certain ambition or a certain desire. what current target markets can we then approach? And then the third one is where niche used to be used as a collective. I like to think of niche as a speciality that you bring to the market. So your niche that you're specializing in is basically your skill that you bring in. The more skilled, specialized skill that you bring to the market, the more sought after you would be. So rather than niche just being I'm honing down on this one person, it's actually I'm honing down on this person that I love because he's a rock star, and he's actually hanging out in different target markets. And the niche is the speciality, the one thing of me that I'm bringing to the market.
Yeah, and if you've never heard the term niche, it literally is. It's a speciality. Yeah. So you can, when it comes to business, you can niche in a few ways. You can niche in the sense of what you do is a niche, like what you do is really, really specific, very, very detailed. Like for argument's sakes, you could be, I don't know, a personal trainer to the stars. That's your niche, that you only work with stars, yeah? Or it could be that you're after a niche market, meaning that you could offer a more general service, but you've only got one particular market that you offer it to.
One particular message.
Yeah, one particular message. So for argument's sakes, it could be like a Facebook advertising. Sorry, that was actually the first one, my apologies. It could be one particular market, meaning that you only work with mothers. So whatever you do, you could be a kinesiologist or a naturopath or a chiropractor, but you only work with mothers and children, and that's your niche. Or you can double niche, meaning that you've got a speciality and you've also got a very specific market. Yeah. It does become a little bit more difficult, but meaning that it becomes you limit yourself in a certain way because you've got a limited amount of audience. However, if you want to take that globally, it works really well. If you're the expert in X and you've got a very, very specific market that you work with, when you hit the global market and you do it right, you can do a pretty good job that way.
And I think it's the limitation that most people think about of I need to specialize into or approach a certain target and go very specific and start saying no to others.
Yep.
I think that fear is that people don't want to say no to other people. They just want to take things on. And in the beginning, when you're starting off, it might feel like that you want to take people on. And the way that I like to think about it is if you're going to an event, and just imagine you're approaching the event and there's the guy standing there. He's got a red velvet robe. And as he's standing there and you're approaching him and he goes, what's your name? And you go,
Mario.
And he goes, Mario, you're here. And he opens up the red velvet robe and you walk through. Now, depending on how tight you have that red velvet robe, only having your ideal client, your ideal person allowed into that event, just think about it as your business. So you only allow the ideal person to come in. It depends on how slack or how tight you have that red velvet robe.
Totally.
Because if you're having that in the beginning, you might feel that you might lower it a little bit, that you can go slip me a 50 and go through. But it's the fact of you're the master at this, right? So you're the one that controls who comes into your business. And I like to just work with the people that I love to hang out with and like to have the same sense of humor and same ambition. So we will go through that as a qualifier and then be like, yeah, cool, Mario, you're in. Gabby, you're in.
We're in.
And it's that. So in the beginning, saying no is protecting yourself in the long run.
It's also protecting your tribe. Like understand, exactly. Depending on your business nature too, it's making sure that, so like for us, we run seminars, we work with a group of people, and I will not let anyone into my tribe that isn't going to raise everyone higher. Like, I'll just say no because I'm protecting my tribe. Obviously, for different business owners, it's different. But even think of it like this, right? You've got staff. You don't want to have clients come in that just neg your staff out, bust their balls, and leave them feeling depleted. You want your clients coming in, being appreciative, being grateful, referring more people to you. They're a perfect match for your business. They're the ones that are going to help you grow because the cost of marketing is the highest cost there is. Whereas referral, creating raving fan clients is where it's at. Because this is where you get to leverage. So if you're thinking, I've been sitting on a niche for a while, but I'm a bit scared to jump in because I'm scared I'm going to alienate or cut off all these other people, have a real good think to yourself. When you're working in a state of generalism and where you're a generalist and you're letting all these people in, I know that if you're doing that, there's going to be times where you've experienced some pretty uncomfortable situations with some of those clients, meaning you come home going, oh my God, that woman or that man did my head in.
Yeah.
You know, your staff is complaining about it. So this is where you understand that, to me, business is a long-term investment. It's a baby that grows into an adult, and you always want to be thinking 20 years from now. You want to be looking at your business like, you're going to take care of me when I'm older. And everything I do, everything I let into this environment is to actually help you grow, nurture you, and give you the best I can. And having anyone that's not a perfect match for you is actually like introducing bad people into your home when you have a kid.
You know, and your retention actually, your bottom line actually suffers because your retention is terrible because you're not working with them because you don't love them.
Yeah.
And it's such a huge deal for me.
Massive.
Yeah,
totally. So there's a couple of keys to creating raving fan clients. Clients that absolutely love working with you and rave about you non-stop and bring you more clients. One of them is obviously having the avatar match, meaning this person is a perfect match for what you do, how you do it, who you are, all of that kind of stuff. The second thing is actually adding more value than anybody else in your marketplace, meaning that you just give more. But
Gotta be genuine with giving as
that's
well.
right.
The intention is a massive thing.
Yeah.
I nail this with every single one of my clients because if your intention isn't set out right of exactly what you're trying to do, you will not bring people in.
No.
And we can go into quantum physics, into the energy of everything and all of that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if your intention isn't correct, it is so transparent for a lot of people.
And so when if you don't like your client and you're trying to add value, you're trying to deliver, like over deliver, and you know you're trying. Honestly, it comes off as trying. And you just can't escape the fact that your tone, who you are in that moment is not going to be the same.
But online, your copy will stink.
Oh, your copy will stink. Like in your marketing, it will stink. In even having the client, you know, one of the best things you can do is to grab a client but keep them forever. Meaning that, you know, client retention is where it's at. Once again, the biggest cost of business is marketing. You know, where we want to optimize, where we want to maximize is in retention. But we do this because we choose a market that we love, that we know we can serve, we can get an outcome for, and that just naturally calls us into action. So with my clients, I tell you what, like it's weird. You know, they pay for X program, and I can't help it. I think about them. I'll like, you know, just out of the blue, I'll SMS them, I'll call them, see, like I just add more and more and more and more value. And the more I love them because these little buggers, they're like overachievers, and they, you know, they're like, I'll tell them do this and they'll do it, but then they'll even explode my expectations, and it has me want to give them more. So this is where, like, adding more value, if you've ever heard this concept before, it only really works when it comes from the right who, when the intention is pure, when you want to add more value out of your heart, not because you know it's a strategy. Would you agree with that?
100%.
Yeah.
And I think a few things that we wanted to add, I'm just going to backtrack a little bit because I know the topic is falling in love with your marketing. If we will look at the science of marketing itself, it's so important that you really define exactly who it is that you want. And I know that if you're watching this, you're probably a little bit more advanced than a lot of people that are sort of just starting out. And so a few things that I want to point out with the people that I've actually worked with is that for some unknown reason, people will take, you know, their defining avatar strategy as a 15-minute, 20-minute task that is really difficult. Having said that, you really need to nail it down purely because if you think of really successful, let's say for example, authors, they would sit there for years defining their character, but because they took so long, which you don't need to take years, but they actually put in the effort to define their character, i.e. J.K. Rowling, and she knew exactly what Harry was going to be like. She can then create everything in relation to him, and I think you need to approach it in that way.
Yeah, totally.
Once you've realized that, once you've absolutely fallen in love with your avatar, that's when you actually go, you know what, I'm going to niche my marketing, not my business. And when you have that mindset shift, thinking that I'm not going to, you know, say no to people that aren't in my niche, but I'm just going to be louder or actually be more clear about who it is that I do want to bring into my business, then you'll be attracting those people in a lot more. You're activating your reticular activating system, and you're bringing people in.
And for those of you that don't know what a reticular activation system is, I feel like I'm the like dictionary on today's episode. Yeah, there's this thing. I'm just gonna seriously please give me the permission just to give you a quick helicopter ride of it. But there's this thing in all of us, and it's how we function. It's called a reticular activation system. What it is, it's a filter. At any given time, you're taking in so much data that's quite frankly that your brain's gone, most of this is not relevant to me, I'm just going to take in the stuff that's relevant to me. And it's filtered in based on your beliefs, based on your focus, based on your intentions, based on your personality traits. So ultimately, you know, if you do this right, meaning that if you really nail your marketing right, you nail your avatar right, your little reticular activation system is actually going to have you come up with ideas, like 3 in the morning to write awesome copy. It's going to have you come up with ideas to, you know, innovate your products, your services.
Laser focus.
Yep. It triggers this to start working, collecting data in the right way. But if you haven't done the market research, if you don't have your avatar nailed, the reticular activation system doesn't have a filter to do this for you.
Yeah. Instead of going wide, basically what Gabby's saying is instead of going wide, your reticular activating system, if you define it properly, it actually allows you to go deep. And going deep actually penetrates more of the marketplace. I think I heard this from Simon Sinek the very first time from his book called Start With Why. I'm pretty sure it's from I'm pretty sure it's from Seth Godin, actually, however. But there's the what is it? It's the law of diffusion of innovation, right? So
That's from the Purple Cow, isn't it?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you.
Somewhere.
From somewhere, I'm going to give attribution to whoever created it. Having said that, when you create marketing, I think what most people actually forget is that when they're in the baby phase, when they're just literally just trying to fire away at the babies, they're the 2.5%ers. But if you actually fall in love with who you really want to help, and you authentically want to provide value, you will stick at it in the longer term, right? And when you create these relationships, what will happen is that not only will you penetrate through the 2.5%ers that will take action straight away, but you will penetrate through to the 12.5. So these are the innovators, the 2.5%ers. Then there's the early adopters who are the 12.5%ers, which then penetrates through to the early majority who are the 34%ers. I really think that the most successful business owners aren't the ones that are the best at online marketing and the Facebook targeting, you know, all of these things, but they're the ones that actually persisted all the way through to the end because they absolutely love who it is that they want to help. And that's the reason why we can see incredible, I guess, audience reach and interaction with ads that we may potentially not even think is the most sophisticated thing. Why? Because they've allowed themselves to actually work at it hard enough to go all the way past the tipping point, which is about the 10% mark, and get to the 34% mark.
Yeah.
And that's what's so important. That's why it's so important for you to fall in love with your marketing, fall in love with your niche, and have the ability to go, you know what, I'm more than happy to give, knowing that later down the track, due to law of reciprocity, in a few years' time, people who've been paying attention to me, who take a lot more time to actually be convinced that 34% is the majority of your niche, I know that they will actually stick around if I work at it hard enough.
That's right. And I love that. Thank you. That's freaking gold. So this is the thing that, you know, stop looking for the magic pill. And that doesn't mean you're not going to get lucky. You're not going to, you know, find a magic pill every now and then.
You'll get the 2.5%.
Yeah, of course. Of course you will. But what you want to do is you want to fall in love with marketing. The way a mother falls in love with her child, because quite frankly, apparently, what happens is a massive amount of oxytocin is released. Like she's drugged by nature to fall in love with her child. You want to do the same thing. We were talking about this before we started recording, and it was this: marry your marketing, become a marketer. You know, get married to your marketing, but not like the way that, you know, people seem to do it now, where they get divorced as soon as things are hard. Marry your marketing like
through
they
the good
did
times and the bad.
Yeah, do it like old school, you know, where you're in it for the good times and the bad, because some projects do take longer. And when you do what Mario is saying, stick it out, be persistent. Understand that certain things are a long-term venture. You know, so often we hear case studies of people having massive success, and it almost seems like it's overnight. But then when you actually speak to them one-on-one, guess what? It took them a decade to get there.
Someone said, I forgot who it was that said the quote, it took me 20 years to become an overnight success.
Yeah,
And it's a huge
Yep.
deal. And
Because there's a tipping point. There's always a tipping point with your marketing. There's this tipping point with whichever marketing strategy you choose to master, that all of a sudden it's not hard work anymore, it's just flow. What were we talking about?
Vino, falling in love with marketing.
Falling in love with your marketing, tipping point.
You're going to get to a point where it doesn't feel like work anymore. It just feels that it's natural. And it reminds me of one of the previous episodes where Gabby mentioned, if you were to think back thousands of years ago with Mother Teresa, with Jesus, with all of your holy figures, Nelson Mandela, if they had access, Martin Luther King Jr., if they had access to social media, what would they be doing? Would they be taking photos of their breakfast? Would they be taking selfies of them doing poses? No, they'd be sharing their message, and it wouldn't be work. It would be the fact that they've got a strong enough reason why to make a difference in the world, to follow their passion, and that is their marketing. So if your business has a strong enough reason to make an impact, then you wouldn't be limited to just Facebook. You wouldn't be limited to just Instagram. You would in fact be more empowered to just get that message out there, regardless of the medium.
Exactly, and what you do is you stack the cool. You'd actually create a little machine for yourself, and you go, okay, you know what? I'm going to take on joint ventures. I'm going to learn what it means to create epic joint ventures, which means I'm creating a phenomenal relationship with other business owners where we're a partnership, helping each other cross promote. Once I've got that little component of my marketing completely mastered, I make sure I maintain that throughout, because now it's not a new learning, it's an old learning. And what do we do with old learnings? They take nothing for us to do. There was a time where you first learned when I first learned how to drive a car, where it all seemed like too much. Quite frankly, I took on manual driving for my first car, and it all seemed like too much. There was seatbelts and mirrors and the gears, and I was pressing the wrong buttons. But now I drive without thinking about it. Quite frankly, I wonder how I get to places, because it feels like my subconscious mind is driving me places. So you want to get to your marketing, you want to approach your marketing the same way. That at first it's going to be clunky, then you keep growing, you get great, you get excellent, you get masterful, done. Implement and make sure you maintain. Then you take another piece of marketing and you do the same thing with it, regardless of what that could be. It could be referrals, it could be content marketing, it could be advertising, it could be making sure that your website is actually capturing leads, it could be funnels, it could be whatever it is. But you want to take on each one and take it through that process, because you know that your message is worth sharing, because you know you're in it for the long run, you're not trying to get a quick fix.
Just on the sideline as well, I think we put so much emphasis on learning the next tactic on Facebook or the next tactic on Google Ads or whatever it is, but we don't put enough emphasis on joint venture partnerships, we don't put enough emphasis on referral marketing, when they are actually what I personally believe what will create the best leads, because they're already pre-qualified, they already have the trust in you because of law of social proof. And so, case in point, a previous business that I was actually working with, I brought in 70% of a 7-figure business literally through JVs and referrals. No online marketing at all whatsoever. 70% of it came in purely because I fell in love with the niche, fell in love with the people that I really wanted to work with, and created authentic relationships with them. And it's so important that we need to understand that marketing as a whole shouldn't just be what's the next best thing on Facebook, but it's actually how do I create even better relationships. When you understand that, when your intention behind marketing is let's create better relationships in multiple ways and have that as an intention, you honestly will just thrive like there's no tomorrow. And when you define exactly who it is that you want to bring in, you will see them every single freaking day, which means that you will penetrate through the 2.5 percenters, the 12.5 percenters, and you actually will get the 34 percenters, the early adopters, and that is when your business will literally skyrocket. And that, to me, is what marketing is, what marrying your marketing is all about.
Love it. High five. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope some of our passion has come in and touched you today. And we know that if you're listening to this, well, you're our avatar, because we want to work with people and we want to communicate with people that like to have a bit of fun. We do have a glass of wine while we talk to you about this. Why do we do it? We do it because we're all human beings. It's empty. There's a bottle here. And so this is our invitation to you to really fall in love with the marketer inside you and understand that marketing is your way to get your message out there, to have you help more people and for you to live the most epic life you can possibly live. Cheers. And happy birthday, Marriott. Woohoo! No, he's like, there's no one.
I'm going to pretend to drink.